Hey there, it's Snej here again, founder of the Lifestyle Academy, owner of Sentience Personal Training, and radio host at Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snej. It's so great to have you join me for the third video in the free 5-day challenge that is currently running. In this video, I'm going to outline the exact blueprint you need to improve your health and wellness and maintain a healthy weight. So if you've been confused about how all the pieces fit together, and more importantly, what goes into creating massive success to actually achieve your health and wellness, well, in this video, you are going to get all of those details. It's a blueprint that I've put together with all the information that I've discovered over the years that works. So in video one, we talked about how to firstly dismiss the mindset that it's all too hard. And we talked about strategies to increase our energy levels so that you can actually go into action and start making steps towards better health. And then in video two, we went through and dismissed the myth that it takes too much time to get fit and healthy. And I gave you some simple and time efficient strategies, not only for making healthy choices, but for overhauling the way that you think of your workouts and the way that you do your workouts so that you get the most effective workouts to speed up your results. So if you haven't seen these videos, go back and watch them now and come back to this one. So today I'm going to build on what we already discussed, but going to give you the complete blueprint for looking after your health and wellness. And I call it the wellness and weight loss blueprint. And by the end of the video, you're going to have so much clarity about how all of this fits in together. And I'm going to also go through and unpack the idea of not knowing what to do. So I know that it can be very confusing when we are trying to improve our health and wellness. There is so much misinformation out there, and I can understand that it can be very confusing and you're just not sure what to do. And so a lot of the times we just resort back to our old patterns and avoid making changes. So you may have tried to improve your health and wellness in the past, and you will find that even though things have worked, whether you haven't stuck to them or they haven't felt like they aligned with your principles and how you want to live your life, but we are also always looking for that quick fix. So today I'm going to present you the whole blueprint, but on top of that, I'm going to outline the 20% of actions, and they're in the action points in the blueprint that are going to give you the quickest results, because ultimately you just want to save time and you want to get into action quickly and get results as quickly as you can. But in saying that, just going to give you the heads up that there is a lot of information on this blueprint. There are a lot of changes that do need to be made, but if you stick to the simple actions, and the key that I've been talking about every day of the 5-day challenge is actually taking action. So let's dive into the training and show you the blueprint. So have a look at it here on the next slide, and you do have this that you can click on the link below this video on the 5-day challenge deliverables page, and you will see this blueprint that you can download and have a read through. But firstly, going to start with what is the actual goal? So what is the actual goal of this blueprint and what I'm teaching? What are we trying to achieve? Because different people have different priorities that they are trying to achieve and goals that they're trying to get to. So for the purpose of this blueprint and what I'm teaching is to empower you or me to maintain optimal health, strengthen our bodies and a healthy weight, to slow the signs of aging and enabling us to age gracefully, to be able to live life to the fullest and to break free from the burden of low energy and ill health. So if that is something that is important and of value to you and something that you would like to learn how to achieve, then stick with me and I'm going to outline it in this blueprint. And this is something that I've spent my life at different stages of my life trying to achieve. So when I was in my 20s and in my 30s and now in my late 40s, all of it has changed over time. So embracing the next point is the absolute key for making change. So, to start with, before we dive into the 10 points that I do have here for you, we're going to, the thing that underpins all of this is this mindset. And it is a sheer love, embracing a profound love for your body, fueled by curiosity and awe for the way that it works, and empowering you to cherish life, nurture your body, and embark on a transformative journey. Now, without this mindset or aspects of this mindset, doing things and changing your behaviors purely to look good in a pair of jeans is just not going to cut it. But when you embrace that your body is this most amazing machine that is designed purely to keep you in balance, to keep you well, for ultimately your survival, when you understand that on a deeper level, then you can start to think about, well, why is my body doing this? What does my body need? And rather than following strict dietary guidelines or fad diets and plans and programs, you can start to instead invest your time in learning how your body works, learning and what it needs, understanding it, and then making the choices from a perspective of genuine self-care and self-love. So I know when I say self-love, a lot of the times it can spark some hesitation. People go, well, how can I love this? I'm carrying too much weight and I'm tired, or I've got a bung knee, or whatever it is. And so I'm going to get you to dial that back a couple of steps before that and just think about how magnificent your body truly is. Think about the experiences that it has already enabled you to go through, whether it has been physical feats, or whether you've had children, or whether you've gone through illness, whatever it is, your body is always there looking after you and in an unrelenting way, trying to balance, trying to bring homeostasis, which is the balance in your body, and trying to function optimally. It will adapt to any situation that you put it into. And so my point is, let's put the stresses and the conditions onto your body that are going to make it adapt in a most favorable way. Adaptation is the key function of the human body because it will adapt to whatever conditions you are in to be able to allow you to survive and thrive. So therefore, when we can have this curiosity and this love for our bodies and looking after our bodies, I am guaranteeing you that you will make different choices. Because when you have this profound respect and love for your body, it really is quite hard to feed yourself rubbish. And that's where a lot of my decision making comes from, because people will often ask me, Snedge, don't you just feel like eating rubbish or eating junk, or do you feel like you're missing out? And I'm not saying that I'm absolutely perfect all the time, but I always am always thinking about how to best look after myself. And definitely I get off track. Everybody does. It's not about being perfect, but it is always about having a respect for your body and always choosing from that mindset. So let's go into it, because as I mentioned, there is a lot to unpack in this, and I'm going to read through them, pinpoint some of the action points, but just present this blueprint to you, because over the coming lessons, lessons 4 and 5, we'll dive into some of these topics more. You'll see that the topics from day 1 and 2 exist in this blueprint as well. But today is giving you the big overview, the opportunity, how you can see things differently, and how you can get rid of some of the old information that you have. In the Lifestyle Academy, I unpack this and coach the members, and we'll be coaching on these topics every week when the program launches. So it isn't something that I can do in a short space of time, but I will give you the 20% of what really matters. And also, Understanding that change takes time and change takes accountability and coaching to stay on track and to return back to the principles. So that's a concept that I can introduce you to today, but it's not something that I can support you with in one session. That does happen over time. And also, as you start to make these changes and implement some of these principles, you will find that you will come across roadblocks. And it's in those moments where you might have the questions, oh, how do I do this? Or I'm feeling this, or this doesn't work in my life, or I'm a shift worker, so I can't stick to the 3 to 4 meals a day. So these are the real life questions, challenges, and roadblocks that come up and that I absolutely love helping coaching my members through. So let's dive into it today, knowing though that you're going to get a really clear overview and some action points to get started. But the first one is body wisdom, and that's attuning to your body's innate intelligence, aligning your actions with your body's needs for optimal health. So this is all about listening to your hunger, understanding your satiety, which means that feeling of satisfaction with food, that you've had enough. When we can listen to our hunger and as well as our thirst and respond only when we are feeling hungry and being aware of thirst, because obviously we need to drink water before we get thirsty. But with our hunger, always allowing us to experience hunger before every meal, and then taking our time to experience satiety or that satisfaction with food. That underlying principle of listening to those bodies' mechanisms and intelligence will give us everything that we need to know. And when we can listen to hunger and stop when we've just had enough, it's going to regulate your portion control, and it's going to regulate how much, when to eat and how frequently to eat. So reconnecting with that is really important. Also making sure that you're resting when you're tired, because putting undue stress on our body does, and you'll see this a little bit later on in point 8, it does change our wellness. It does change how much we eat. And if we're not resting, that could be getting adequate sleep, or even just having a pause if our day's feeling a little bit too overwhelming. And rather than pushing ourselves into the stress response, just sitting back and just having some time out can really manage your stress levels, but can also regulate how much you eat. So listening to your body, listening to what it needs, and responding to bowel movements when you need to go to the toilet, making sure you're going to the toilet. All of these basic fundamentals are the first step. Step number 2, something we cannot get around, is moving more. Movement boosts your energy. It releases feel-good hormones. It enhances your fitness. It strengthens and optimizes our body systems. It helps to regulate blood sugar levels. It helps to regulate hunger and satiety. Everything works better when you are moving your body. So the actions and to understand this aspect is to make sure that we're doing 3 resistance training sessions per week. I unpacked the reasons for that yesterday, so go back and revisit lesson 2 if you haven't already. We need to make sure we're doing at least 2 15 to 30-minute cardio sessions per week, but also thinking about moving more daily and that incidental activity. The next one is your muscles and your metabolism, and we want to strengthen our bodies and boost metabolism through resistance and strength training is the cornerstone of vitality and longevity. Our muscle mass and our metabolism, which go hand in hand, the more muscle we have, the better our metabolism, does decline as we age. This affects all aspects of our health, our wellness, our energy levels, and our ability to do more in our lives. So strengthening our muscles is absolute key, as well as increasing our metabolism. The actions to be able to achieve this is to make sure that you're stimulating your muscles every 2 to 3 days with resistance training, which connects to point number 2 of the 3 resistance training sessions per week. You need to make sure that you are going heavy. Working with 1 and 2 kilo dumbbells is definitely not going to cut it. Obviously, you need to strength train with weights that achievable for you and that will allow you to exercise in a safe and effective manner, but always think about going heavy. Do not worry about bulking up and all of those things. It will not happen. And that's definitely something that I teach. And I said it in yesterday's lesson as well. That is a very conscious and very calculated process to be able to gain lots of muscle mass, especially for women. But when we are going heavier, we are going to strengthen our bodies, which means we can do more. We're going to increase our muscle mass, which therefore increases our metabolism. It is really, really vital. If you're not doing any form of resistance training, you need to start, and you need to think about going heavy. So if you are at the gym at the moment, think about doing less repetitions, between 8 and 12, and increasing the weight. If you are in classes and you're doing, say, for example, something like a pump class, load those weights up a little bit more, but go slower, lifting more with less repetition. If the trainer is encouraging you to go quicker, that's okay. You go heavier and slower with more weight. And in order to feed this muscle, we need to make sure that we're adding protein to each of the meals. So that is another action that you need to add in. Number 4 is supportive nutrition. And I talk about supportive nutrition because it supports us to live a healthier lifestyle. We want to make sure that we're eating wholesome foods with a diverse range of macronutrients and nutrients that fulfill our body's requirements, that supports our recovery and promotes energy, good health, and also prevents overeating. A lot in that statement, and this is a big one to unpack. But basically, what we need to understand is when we are eating wholesome foods and we are getting foods that are nutrient dense, so have lots of nutrients in them, things such as nuts and seeds and proteins and vegetables and fruit and whole grains, they're full of nutrients. And when they're full of nutrients, they're going to feed our body's needs for all the vitamins and nutrients that they need. And therefore, you'll feel satisfied with less food, and you will also avoid overeating. The biggest factor when it comes to food and overeating and or feeling satisfied with less is we need to increase the nutrient density and increase the variety of nutrients that we're getting so we can genuinely feed ourselves. So some of the actions with this is to make sure that we're choosing whole foods with minimal processing, making sure that we're getting the balance of our macros, so getting the balance of our carbohydrates, our proteins, our fruit or veg, and our fats in each of the meals in the right combination. And if we think about it simply, if we divide our plate, half of the plate should be vegetables or fruit. If you're having a snack, half of your snack should be fruit. A quarter of your plate should come from carbohydrates and a quarter of your plate should come from protein. And then we've got a side serving of fats that needs to be included in there. And that's the ratio: quarter carbohydrate, quarter protein, half a plate of vegetables or fruit. That's a really quick and simple overview. Step number 5 is gut health. In order to maintain your health, especially as we get older and our digestive system isn't as effective as it was when we're younger, this does disturb our ability to digest food, and it does affect aging, also does affect our gut health and our microbiomes, or the bacteria that's living in our gut. So maintaining gut health is pivotal for overall wellness, impacting digestion, immunity, mental clarity is huge when it comes to gut health and weight management. Improving your gut health is the real key to feeling better in your mindset as well. And when we feel better in our mental health, then we're not reaching for comfort foods, we're not emotional eating, and you will be absolutely amazed at the secret of balancing your gut health and how it can tidy up so many aspects of your health. And the key actions here are to remove simple sugar intake. So simple sugars feed bad bacteria, reduce the amount of good bacteria in your body, which therefore leads to cravings, leads to headaches, leads to feelings of fatigue, and also not effectively digesting your food. So you are more tired, less able to make better decisions, craving more sugar because that's what bad bacteria needs to feed on. And it does completely put a real dent in all aspects of your wellness. So, thinking about gut health and taking the steps is really important. Pairing sugar with protein is absolutely essential, and adding apple cider vinegar and fiber to feed the good bacteria and to alkalize your system is absolutely essential, as well as including probiotics. Number 6, so much in this blueprint, but actionable things. And these are the things that you can start to do. And what's really exciting is that on day 5, I'm actually going to give you my complete lifestyle questionnaire, which is going to unpack each of these different steps for you. It's going to assess you in each of these areas and then it'll give you specific actions that you can take. But for now, what you can do is you can just go through and kind of make a mental note or write notes down of which ones you're not doing. Number 6 is happy hormones. The happy hormones is transformative as these biochemical messengers dictate our actions, emotions, and physical well-being. Nurturing them profoundly impacts our quality of health. We need to understand, and the key point here is understand the different hormones that affect your body and how they affect you and how to keep them healthy. I am going to touch on that in day 5, so look out for that. It is a huge topic, and a topic that in the Lifestyle Academy I spend a whole unit and a whole module on understanding the different hormones and how we can improve the health of our hormones, because they affect how we sleep, they affect how we eat, they affect our stress levels, they affect so many different aspects of our wellness. Number 7 is hydration. Water is the elixir of life. It reduces appetite, enhances the function of all body systems. It fuels your energy levels and it sharpens mental clarity. You cannot think about improving your health without addressing your water levels. The actions for this is drinking 1 cup per 9 kilo of body weight. You can calculate how much that is. Make sure that you schedule hydration in, because oftentimes the biggest hiccup that I get with people increasing their water intake is that they just forget to drink and they get distracted with their day and they forget to drink water. So scheduling hydration into your day, your cups at certain amount of times, is really quite important. Making sure we're adding herbal teas and fruit and veg into your day as well to increase the water intake that you are actually getting. Number 8 is managing stress. Managing stress influences our food choices, our hormonal balance, and our body fat regulation. Excessive stress triggers the body to protect itself with excess fat. Having a high level of stress in your life is one thing. Not addressing and managing it with strategies is a completely different thing. And if you aren't addressing, because we can't get rid of all of the stress in our lives, but we can put strategies in place to manage our stress. If you are unhappy with your energy levels at the moment, or if you're unhappy with your weight and your body fat levels at the moment, and you're not addressing your levels of stress, then you are really making this journey a lot harder for yourself. So the things that you can think about is looking at stress reduction techniques that work for you. Meditation may not be for you. Long walks may be for you. Laughing, going to a funny movie, hanging out and connecting with friends and family, loved ones, whatever it is for you is going to work for you. So try to avoid adding more stress by thinking that you need to do stress releasing techniques that just don't align with you and just don't feel right for you. The next thing is to complete the stress cycle. And what that basically means is that stress has a very distinct set of stages that it cycles through. The problem with stress in our bodies is that we're always in that first part of the stress cycle where there is danger and our body is preparing to either flight or freeze, fight, flight, or freeze. The problem with that is we're always pumping adrenaline, and cortisol is really high in our bodies. And if we don't complete that cycle by having the fight or the flight, now we don't want to do either of those things, but there are things that you can do to simulate that next stage. Because as soon as we do the flight or fight, the body then goes into recovery and we burn up those stress hormones, and the body can reset itself, go into a peaceful space and regenerate. And we can complete the stress cycle by doing exercise, by having a burst of a cold shower. There are so many things that you can do, but finding ways to complete the stress cycle in a healthy way is what I would encourage you to do if you don't have those practices or those skills that you can turn to. Also, the last action point is to reframe your stresses. And can you think of life a little bit differently so that it doesn't impact on you as much, and so it doesn't actually feel as though it's so stressful? And that's about adopting a positive mindset and just reframing. And, what does this actually mean? How important actually is this? How can we see this differently? Asking those questions will reduce your stress without the stresses actually reducing themselves. Number 9, the second last one. Now, remembering these aren't in any particular order. Number 9 is about sleep and recovery. Sleep and recovery is essential for eating mindfully, making healthier choices, optimizing your workout benefits, and daily rejuvenation, and for overall well-being. We, again, like water and movement, we can't ignore sleep, and we need to make sure that we are getting good quality restorative sleep. So what are the actions behind some of this? So the first one is having a good sleep hygiene, and that's about having good routines leading into bed, turning tech off, making sure you're in a dark room, not having caffeine too late. All of these, not overeating, all of these practices will allow you to get a more restful sleep, but also to fall into sleep a lot quicker. So some of the actions behind this are having good sleep hygiene, sleeping at least 7 to 9 hours daily. Also, for recovery, we need to make sure that we're having rest days. We can't be going flat out exercising or being active in a stressful way in our days every single day. We need to have built-in rest days and also built-in rest breaks within our day, so we can just reset ourselves. Also in this category is the post-workout snack. If you are exercising, and in particular, if you are working with weights, then it is super essential to make sure that you are adding a post-workout snack into your day. So making sure that you're getting a serving of carbohydrate and protein within 45 minutes after your workout is absolutely going to help you to get the most out of your workout and develop your muscle mass and your energy systems to improve as a result of that workout. So sleep and recovery is very important. The last one is a positive mindset. So a positive mindset is the key to making informed decisions and having unwavering motivation and the transformation power of thoughts and visualization. So having a positive mindset is essential to making good decisions, but also feeling like you can actually do it and knowing that it is something that you can achieve. Also, there is a real strong link to visualization and what we're telling ourselves, the language that we're using to describe ourselves, and that our body actually uses those visualizations and that language, that self talk, to give us very clear instructions on what we should be doing. So if we're visualizing that we can't lose weight and we say, I just can't lose weight, I'm immune to losing weight. I've heard someone say, and I was like, oh no, please don't say that. So you need to understand that that negative self-talk is giving your body specific instructions. And in the example that I just used, the specific instruction is fat cells, hold on to body fat because this person is telling us that we're not capable of losing fat. Now, it does sound a bit woo-hoo, but the information that's coming up about our brain and our cells and our thought processes and how it does impact on our body is really, really important to understand and to factor into our processes and our ability to make healthy choices. So that is the 10 steps. Let's go through them again. We've got body wisdom, listening to our bodies, moving more, a combination of resistance training, cardio, and incidental movement in our day. Making sure we are increasing our muscle mass and our metabolism, which go hand in hand with resistance training, heavier weights, and making sure we're adding protein. Supportive nutrition, eating wholesome foods with a variety of nutrients that are going to actually feed your body so that you feel fuller with less and you avoid overeating. Gut health, the absolute secret to our mental health and the choices that we make, but also what underpins cravings. So if you're wanting to get rid of cravings, we need to get rid of simple sugars. We need to pair our sugars with protein to balance out those sugar levels, add in our probiotics and our probiotics like apple cider and fiber. Making sure that we have happy hormones. And the key here is to actually do some research, learn and discover about what hormones are the most important, how they're influencing our weight, our food choices, and our energy levels. Hydration and sleep. You can't get past these ones, making sure we're drinking enough water, scheduling water into our day so we don't forget to drink. Managing our stress, in particular, completing the stress cycle so that our body isn't constantly in protection mode and layering on abdominal body fat because it feels like it has to protect our vital organs. Sleep and recovery, getting adequate sleep, which sleep also affects our food choices. When we are tired, we will more likely reach for high sugar foods to try and give us that energy boost. And recovery as well, so we're getting the most out of our efforts with our workouts and a positive mindset. So that's all of it. A huge lesson for today. I'm going to get you to have a little bit of a think about that and unpack that. And even though it does feel like a lot of information, when you come from that first intention of embracing a profound love for your body, being curious, you're going to start to take actions that are going to genuinely look after your health and your wellness. And I cannot encourage you enough to take a look at these actions. Some of these you might be implementing already. Where do you need more information? Where do you need to start to take action? But I'm going to leave you with that for today's lesson. Coming up in the next 2 days, we have day 4, where we're going to shift the belief of that you have to give everything up. I'm going to talk to you about sugar cravings and some of that gut health tomorrow. And then in lesson 5, we're going to shift the belief that you've tried everything and nothing seems to work. And I'm going to take you through why strict diets don't work and going to teach you the secrets of the fat cells, how they work, and so you can understand that a little bit better. Lots of information coming up to help you to achieve that level of wellness and weight loss. But again, like every day, I do ask you to please share comment on this video. If you found this video helpful, feel free to share it on Facebook or with your family and with your friends and loved ones, because the more people that benefit from the information, the happier it makes me. Also, going to ask you to comment on the video or post in the Facebook group, what was your biggest aha? What was the thing that I've said today that's come off this blueprint that has given you the energy, or is an action that you need to, that you know that you need to implement immediately? What was the standout for you? What is the biggest change that you feel you need to start to make as a result of this blueprint? I look forward to seeing you in day 4's lesson.